That's right, it's the final day here at the LPL, and it continues forward now over to the gorgeous city of Chongqing, where in LNG's home arena, anything is once again possible, with LNG vying for that final playoff position here in summer 2019 to make that glorious run and try and achieve Worlds. For the organization that has struggled, that has never been able to hit the mark, LNG finally, as a remodeled Snake, can slither their way to the top. Sooning, they're already there, but they can be kingmakers here for WE, who WE want to make that same journey, and it's a glorious start. Hello and welcome back to the desk. My name's Jacob. This, I'm not too sure. What is happening?
Hey, I have a pretty shaky memory. Who predicted the LGD Vichy game correctly?
That was you.
Oh, it was me, yeah. It was me. Who predicted the VLG RNG game correctly? That was me.
That was you.
That was me. So, my name isn't Raz for today. My name is Rastradamus.
Rastradamus, eh?
King Rastradamus. So, just so you guys remind yourself, playoff time is when you get to have yourself a wig. I think you saw a sneak peek. I brought it into the office today. So you're gonna have a good time very soon. So for now, I'm prediction king.
I'm just surprised that you're the first one to kind of wear the wig, but it looks good on you.
It's one that's not going to be demeaning. I can't say the same for you.
Ah, great. Okay, well, I look forward to that. And of course, if you've been missing out on things so far, there's been a lot changing in the LPL. We are on our final day, and Rastradamus and myself and Sterix here are looking towards another matchup with playoff implications, the final one of So, with LNG and Suning going head-to-head.
Yeah, the fact that, LNG have put themselves into this position, they've had a very bad few weeks. That is the fact. Remember, they came into the first, to the split completely undefeated.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 set wins, 0 losses, and then Rift Rivals was nearing up. They racked their first loss. Okay, that makes sense. They were going up against FPX in that one, so they were going up against the undefeated themselves. And then they just started getting defeated constantly. And so they've had a really poor back half of the split. And so now they find themselves their playoff edition. If they win, they're in. If they lose, they're out. As simple as that. Right now, Team WE are holding on to that 8th place spot. And it's all really dependent on this final set for them because they're going to be going up against Suning very soon.
That's right.
Now, here's the fun fact of this one. Points do matter here because if they find themselves in the playoffs, let's say if they win the series, just no matter what, if it's a 3-game series, then they're in no matter what.
Yeah, that's
but if they win 2-0, guess what? They have the same amount of set wins versus Suning. They have the head-to-head, obviously, because they just beat them.
Would have just achieved.
They have the same points, so they actually skyrocket in the standings. So they would have, a pretty good time in the playoffs, but they don't want to worry about that. They just want to worry about getting in the damn playoffs to begin with.
That's right. Securing a position here and over WE. It's great that it comes down to this. For LNG, their fate is in their hands.
Yes.
You know what I was saying the past couple of days about WE, how they're going to be stressed because they have to watch this match. They have to rely on teams like Suning to get them into playoffs. And, for Suning, although they've been a much better team in this split, they're still not the top dogs.
Yeah, so there is a chance. Really, at the end of the day, if we're just talking about across-the-board talent, there is a chance simply because, you always have faith in Flande. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Sorry, Rastradamus.
They have, thank you. Thank you, and say it proud.
Title, yeah.
So, they have talent like Flande, SofM. Asura has had a phenomenal split. If we're just saying that, asking the question of who has been the best player so far this split, for me, it's clearly Asura. Because he's been able to perform well in lane, and then in team fights, it's just been monstrous.
I'd put Duan up there with him as well as the new addition on the roster.
Fair enough point. There was a question mark when FunFun come in. You're welcome. If FunFun was going to be taking over, but really there was this question mark that was answered there on their Weibo and their social media. They made the point that Plex was just getting visas sorted. Really bad timing for them, but they were able to still keep that win for themselves. And moving forward to today, you'd expect, a lot of the talent to come together, round themselves up, because this is the first time that LNG as an organization, or at least the players in that organization, were put in this situation. In fact, FPX bopped them out of playoffs in the final series of last year. And so they're in, once again, a do-or-die situation.
A do-or-die situation where if we just revisit once again the way this has been setting up, because remember at the start of the season, LNG were pitted as, wow, this is a powerhouse, new rebranding, the changes have pushed them forward. The past 5 sets for them, 4 have been a loss, and that last Vici one, I mean, that was just...
They should have lost that.
They should have lost
Flatly,
that
I'll put it out there because it came down to this whole situation where Vici Gaming were running for the base, ended up getting wiped, gave you know, LNG an opportunity to be able to steal a victory, and then they got their 3rd game. And so you're in a situation where they had a tough back half of the schedule. FPX, RNG, top
Which
esports.
is understandable with the 2 zeros.
But then the fact that they lost to Victory 5 that are not looking good by any means, and then going up against Vici, they just had bad performances through and through. And a lot of those games, if you track back to the first 5 minutes in those instances, like the consistent issue is mostly in communication around SofM. SofM goes for a play. It's either not well coordinated because he's the only one actually going for it, or it's just a bad play entirely. So a lot of the times, and then a great example is like there was this one situation that I remember very clearly, vividly, where he was just fully all-inning and challenging for a Raptors camp. He puts his team in a very do-or-die situation needlessly really early on in the game.
They're doing this no matter what.
And so they find themselves in a deficit first 5 minutes nearly constantly, and so that needs to change for LNG. They need to have that drastic change to come into today battling against him.
Something really big, you're right. I like that point because for LNG, they have not won a series against one of the top 8 teams already secured. Now, WE was one of them, which could be the team that replaces them, but, you know, only honorable wins, maybe DMO you'd throw in there. So LNG have had the wins on the board to get them to this point, but it's not the impressive wins against those powerhouse teams.
Yeah, and so right now my challenge to LNG is simply to be able to get out of the laning phase without putting themselves in a deficit. And I say that because they're the active team. Early on in these games, they're the team that are forcing the fights and then losing because of those fights. And so all I really need to see from this team, because they do build very strong team fight compositions for themselves, get later on in there, and then start to challenge these team fights, because I would come out and say that LNG is a stronger team fighting team than Suning.
I would agree.
Suning's a better, team that plays in a wider map. Like you'd be able to have either Maple or Angel being able to play side lanes incredibly well. I'll say if we're having a side lane discussion, then Suning win very easily.
Again, wholeheartedly,
But I would say that, not only does LNG force these compositions that work in a team fight situation, but they also should be playing better now. We already talked about the lanes here. Angel coming up in the top side of the map, Wei in the jungle, Maple in the mid lane, and out that bottom side of the map, it's going to be Smlz and SwordArt.
And a much better looking Suning here. If you're just tuning in for the first time and you're looking at Suning from spring to summer and saying, on paper, the roster doesn't look as powerful as it was before, well, you're wrong. This team secured playoffs already, and they're vying for that 6th position to try and meet IG by the looks of it in that first round.
And now, remember, for all of these teams, points matter so much. Being able to make that deep run is going to mean a lot. With Suning, of course, coming in with such high expectations, missing out on playoffs completely in Spring Split. But here's the focus on LNG, the home team here. Flande in the top lane, SofM the jungle, Plex in the mid. Actually, the SwordArt coming in, actually. And so that you see in the bottom side of the map, it's going to be Asura and Duan. So very big surprise that visa situation has been resolved there from Plex.
So seeing FenFen once again, and the funny part is, Raz, it's FenFen going up against Suning, his team of 2 years.
True.
So it's kind of like well, let's finish off the split going against one of your favorites.
So here's the thing. Usually when you're put in these situations, it's like, all right, what information can you dig up for us? And then he realizes, actually, I just don't know anybody on the enemy team. Now I was in a completely different situation there.
That's very true.
Fury and Yoon, are they still on that team? No? Okay, unfortunate. All right, what about that top laner called Xiao Out? No? Oh, well. I believe Hacker's still there. Oh, so they're not playing Hacker.
They're not playing Hacker.
What information do you have for us, FenFen? It's like, I have nothing. So anyways, I'm going to be hearing from one of the video clips, interview coming in from Angel.
会多注意他们打野SofM的打野路线，还有他会去地图哪边，这我们会比较在意。面对盛阳哥，我觉得他是一位经验非常丰富的选手，他的英雄池也非常的广。我的优势就是不一定会走到上路。
Okay, he may head to other lanes. Big talk about SofM there, and of course for Angel. Joining into the Suning roster in the later half of the split, this man's addition has been exponential in that top lane or mid lane, as they've been shifting and changing quite a lot.
Yeah, initially when we saw the addition of Maple, actually, we were having real, genuine questions of who is the better of the two, while Maple has been in international events consistently and has a larger pedigree based off the previous. We'll be hearing from Maple actually before I get to my point.
SofM 的配合也挺好，但是我觉得我跟小韩的配合也不会输给他们。季后赛的话应该是挺稳的，然后因为季后赛对手肯定都是非常强劲的，然后又要打波舞，那我们要加强我们这一部分，然后让我们在季后赛走得更远。
There we go.
Should be in. I mean, you are in, so like that's some confidence. But of course, for Maple, you know, transitioning with Weiwei, new jungler for him coming in this split, and Weiwei has been the mainstay. We haven't seen Hacker since that week 1 Vici set.
Yeah, and Weiwei, when we've seen him, you know, when they were both trading spots, just looked better. Early game was a lot more crisp and clean, was working alongside SwordArt far more often. So it just made a lot more sense to be fielding Weiwei a lot more frequently. Just to finish off my point between the two, you know, I thought that Angel was the far more consistent between him and Maple, but that was a tough split for Maple simply because he was kind of just trying to adapt to the LPL playstyle. You know, Angel, of course, Chinese, been in the scene for so long and knows that kind of constant skirmishing playstyle that is, you know, in the LPL for so long. Meanwhile, Maple comes in, wants to play a more structured game, and then realizes that no, he's just getting ganked left and right. Team fight situations are really just a havoc most of the time.
It's rough, yeah.
So he's definitely gotten a lot better, and I love the fact that we get to see both of them, honestly, because since Long Sing went towards RNG, the whole idea of Biubiu coming in, a great rookie, sure, but still worse than the two players, does need time, and of course needs to be able to challenge some of the best on that organization. You know, it's better to be able to field Angel, who can play those. In fact, in the mid lane, was playing a lot of bruisers to begin with. And so he was playing top laners in the mid lane. So the fact that he's now being thrown in a flexible position, I like that idea.
Very versatile champion pull on him as well. But we transition back over to LNG and just remind everyone how important this match is going to be. Running Fen in the mid lane with SofM. We saw Fen in the previous series. Sandra Tristana to root up your memory. And look, wasn't the worst performance, so I'm kind of excited to see the prospects here in this.
Simply put, they are in a do-or-die situation without their best lineup. That is such a bad situation to be in, knowing that you brought in Plex for a reason. Plex was supposed to be coming in and be that, you know, solution to their mid lane.
And it felt like he was earlier in the season.
Exactly. Felt really good. In fact, when they started to dip, it wasn't because of Plex. It was because of the coordination of the team, and that's very much expected for a team coming in renewed in summer split. You haven't had this full team and lineup in spring, so the idea that they cannot now field Plex is crazy, especially in one of the do-or-die situations, like the most do-or. Like, it's funny because a lot of the times, you know, commentators or just people come in and always brand a game as do-or-die because it just makes a game harder in the future. This is literally do-or-die. This is the culmination of their season's effort, and then coming into this situation knowing, much like 2018, what it all means. They were bumped out of the playoffs in the end of 2018. That ended their season. And now they're in a very, very similar situation going up against the Suning team.
But at least they made playoffs. So this will be up to LNG to see if they can make that plunge. Up here with Suning, they'll also have their head-to-head, but it begins now as our second last matchup of the summer season here in 2019.
Yeah, we were treated to some great games. LNG versus Suning right now. And then, of course, to end the season, we have ourselves the match of the week. Top two teams, FPX going up against TOP.
Not a bad way to end the season. But before we get there, let's plunge into this one. Because again, there's a lot of that discussion around what you're going to ban in this first phase, how important that first pick is. And LNG going back to their blue side, it has been their favorite.
I love the Tahm Kench bans being thrown towards SwordArt. Not only is SwordArt a great Tahm Kench player, but this team, Suning, has been just really strong, being able to utilize it once again in a wider map situation. When they have Angel and Maple splitting on side maps, and then they can end up using the semi-global of the Tahm Kench ultimate, being able to dropship you in and then try and get a kill on Flande. Now it allows Flande to pick a split pushing laner, and then don't have to think about the constant collapse coming in from Suning.
That's very true, and a lot of global audience would remember SwordArt on that Tahm Kench as a side note. Let's go into that first pick. The Gragas here is a priority for LNG, and that'll most likely be going towards SofM.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, SofM's greatest utility picks have always been the Sejuani and Gragas. So if he gets his hands on the Sedge, or I mean, in this case, I mean the Gragas, then of course you can be confident, know that he's going to be the person that's going to be starting off the fight. So I want to see what FunFun is willing to play alongside that. He's not a Yasuo type.
Yeah.
He's not that type of player. But it kind of makes it so they're a lot more confident fielding more AD. So an Irelia is a strong possibility alongside the Gragas.
Still hasn't been banned away. One of the rare moments of Suning hover over something that has been considered so safe across the rest of the world. And Maple, there we go. But remember, Angel and Maple like to swap lanes, so we don't know where this will end up.
All right, I'm a big fan of the Corki pickup. I think it really goes back to the whole idea of what Suning is trying to do and just sending the Corki in a split push situation. So that's something to take note of. And if I'm thinking about who's the best Corki player on the team, it's funny enough, I actually think it's Maple.
Oh, yeah.
It's so tough. It really is. Because especially with this champion, I think Angel's put in a lot of good work here. So really just depends on the matchup, funny enough. I think this is one of those situations where you throw it up top lane if he has the best matchup available for himself, and it looks like that's going to be an Aatrox.
Yeah, you got a couple of choices there with Aatrox and Qiyana locked in here as well. Going to Fen. So that's going to be another champion here in summer.
I would send, unless if you lock in this Karma pick. But now you have some great laning matchups if you're Suning. I would definitely lock in the Karma. Send the Karma up top lane so it'd go towards Angel and he would be able to deal with the Aatrox there. Corki can get some really free Klepto procs going up against the Qiyana in mid lane. So suddenly not only do you have a great protection composition later on in the game, but your early game is pretty locked down tight too. So first phase is really successful here from Suning.
Yeah, with the potential of the double Klepto here, Karma, Corki alike. So for Suning, when you set that up, now you go, what happens in the bottom lane that truly is Karma towards the top side? Means we should be seeing a lot of 80 carry bands come across here because both teams are wanting towards that bottom side. Lucian makes sense. Asura has played a bit of Lucian. Smlz too. Both Lucian players on the Rift.
Yeah, and also Lucian is just a good pick into the Corki. And remember, Smlz historically has played Corki out of meta. When Corki was just simply a mid lane champion, he was like, actually, bot lane Corki. He never liked it. He didn't actually perform too well with the champion because it actually just doesn't have a strong laning phase whatsoever. But now that tells us as as players, as casters actually, that the Corki is certainly a flex pick, as much of a flex pick as can possibly be.
Yeah, to the limits, right? Alistar follows suit here in the bans though, and getting us back on track with the Ezreal by Asura. So both these AD carries are banned away their best played champions. With LNG Asura on the Ezreal, Suning on the Lucian. We're going to get another 80 carry ban with things like the Varus open, with Ashe as a potential, Rakan instead with the support ban going towards SwordArt.
All right. With so many bans, I'm surprised it's the Braum that gets left open here.
Yeah.
I think Braum works really well with Suning's composition. You can find yourself a double AD carry with a Karma Braum very easily. The Cataclysm also is fantastic for double AD composition, so I think it would be a safe pickup here by Suning.
10 seconds to decide.
Really?
You talked about before.
Okay, works for me.
I'm surprised it's lasted this long with the priority, but hang on a minute.
All right. That is the opposite of what I was looking for.
You want
an AD carry that can kite back. I mean, a support that can kite back. No. A support that can go in. Love what SwordArt has for himself here.
That's great. You take away something like his Tahm Kench, he gets a little bit angry, but for LNG, hovering over the many possibilities, Nautilus was looked at there, but Asura loves this Kai'Sa. We're going to find out both in a second anyway.
All right. I think picking up the Kai'Sa makes a lot of sense here. At least take it away from Suning if you're confident with Asura's team fighting. I think we were having that conversation about who's been the best performing player on LNG, and for me, this entire season has been Asura.
Yep.
He's had some real highlight moments. So if you can get past the laning phase, then excellent. You can utilize that pick later on. I mean, the invisibility that it has, the mobility that it has, works really well against the Leona, and you got yourself a Volibear pick in for Duan.
Look at that win rate. It's still down there, but I tell you what, it may go up. That doesn't sound confident, does it? It will go up at one point.
Nice. Just as confident as all you people out there are with the current, Volibear play that we have. But I like the Volibear. I think in a lot of melee matchup, it does well into. Leona is a little bit of a tricky one, simply because if you do look for an all-in, she definitely gets closer to the AD, gets closer to being able to flash Q.
Yeah.
So really, it depends on the moment. And this is the pick that we were talking about. It's going to be Corki there for SMLZ.
I was just looking at the Jason going, well, that is a great way to finish draft here for game 1. So you're right. Never take your finger off the trigger here for Suning.
LNG certainly knew what was coming. The moment you look in that draft and you see the Corki first of all picked up by an SMLZ squad later on in the season, and then they start banning bad matchups for the Corki, you're like, are they concerned about Aleutian topside map? No, they wouldn't be, because LNG's already completed their topside in the first phase. So it's certainly going to be them just being worried about the bottom side matchup for Corki. So for Suning, they were setting up for a Corki AD carry. They finally get it. They have some strong lanes topside though, so they're really just going to be hoping for a very safe lane on the bottom side of the map, and then for their topside to just do well for the Jace and the Karma.
We got a Jace with Ignite in the top side as well. And I was looking across the 2 drafts. I saw 1 teleport out of each team, and that's very rare. So we're going to have a lot of lane presence here from both teams running into the combat summoners.
Well, I think there's a lot stronger for lane matchups there for Suning. Suning definitely has the better lane matchups in the top side of the map. The only concern as we close up to what LNG has here to offer in the game is that that's a lot of just outright action and power. The Kiana and Gragas has been played around the globe and just has such an ability to be able to blow up a primary carry. That's a simple 100-0 with that combination post 6 for, Gragas and the Kiana. And if you were trying to dive away from the wall, Gragas is certainly just going to pull you right back in with his ultimate. So that's a great combination to have. And then they just didn't stop it with that. They didn't leave it at that. They're like, actually, throw in a damn bear, make it a lot harder in the mid game for Suning to deal with. So we're going to have to see if LNG can take down Suning with the draft that they have.
You'll have to throw everything into it, because LNG, this is it. The final series of the split to see if they make playoffs or if they fall short and WE take their place as we get into it. Send off LGD.
There we go.
We are in the home arena of LNG, of course, over in Chongqing. Beautiful city if you haven't been there before. But the city and support needs to come together here for LNG, because, as you mentioned before, I love the words do or die cannot be used in a better place.
This is as tough as it gets here for LNG, Finding yourself in this position is already tough as is. But then, of course, already losing those opportunities in the previous series. Had they have beaten Victory 5, they wouldn't be in this spot.
That's true.
They would have just simply been in the playoffs. So the fact that they ended up dropping the ball in the most important series is really unfortunate. They also just would have simply had better points, too, if they would have got a clean 2-0 victory over the good old Vici gamers. But, the fact that they even won that series is a miracle. So there's a lot riding on the line here, and LNG certainly has the faith that they can just play better on the day. So let's see what we have here.
Kick it off with a game 1 as Leona and Volibear go head-to-head. And I know you like talking about jungle pathing here in this game, Raz. We've got opposite sides of the map control as Weiwei with a red start also for SofM.
Yeah, that just means that Gragas is going to be up top side. I wonder if he's going to get a base off knowing that he has Predator so he can get those boots. But what I'm concerned about is for Karma's well-being. Gragas being able to path for topside, and she's just a constant shove away. That's an easy gank situation that now Flande would be positioned well for. So that's something you should watch out for, knowing that Karma is vulnerable and that J4 is pathing towards the bot side of the map.
That's right. Maybe you can make something happen, though, down for LNG, or against LNG, rather. Towards the blue buff now. Scufflecrab will be up in about 20 more seconds with quick math.
So yeah, I think that's certainly going to be possible now, knowing that Gragas path topside without basing for boots. He's not concerned for that Predators right off the bat. I think this will give them the necessary information there. Now we all know that Weiwei is in the red side jungle, so SofM is going to be pretty confident that he has that top side alone to himself.
Duan even dropped a ward towards blue too, so LNG are going to keep tracking him, as that was an interesting Zenith play that felt like it should have landed. But SwordArt playing very aggressive in this lane, and only one flip away from Duan.
Great ward here coming out from Maple. So not only is Maple but but Maple is now definitely paranoid. Set down a really deep ward, but you can already see from the ping, SofM has that information. He's going to take the deep way around.
Mentioned it.
All right, Maple, let's see if you can get out of this one.
I mean, he's set himself up in the top side. This mid laner now needs to make the run as SofM has body slam. Flash not used early. It's going to be a little bit late as the dunk comes down, but Flande doesn't connect. Turret shot onto him as well. Bit of extra gold and Maple survives.
Really well done from Maple. The fact that we all knew that was going to be happening like 2 minutes in advance, certainly he had that knowledge. The ward was well placed. He was able to get out. And remember, he still has a lot of potions to his name. Chugging the last corrupting potion right now, and he has an extra red potion. So he's going to be able to stick in the lane for a while. Flande just wants a base right here, so going to have SofM helping him out.
Big wave crashing in that's going to enable to do so, but Maple probably won't let him. Walking away from the wave. Just need eyes on that top lane. Yeah, he stops the base onto Flande, but as you mentioned, has teleport anyway, so we'll still be able to make his way back at a good time.
Yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about is if Flande decides to walk up top lane, and then this is the wave that he has to deal with.
Yeah.
So technically, Maple still needs a back himself, so I would like to have him just slow push the lane. So you can already see Aatrox is not concerned about teleporting in. He's not going to put himself in a bad situation knowing that J4 is going to be on top side right now. So I'm concerned. Let's see what Jarvan ends up doing. It looks like he's going to be looking mid first, but that shouldn't be a gank opportunity ready. That's a wave.
Yeah, FenFen's so far back in this lane. He might be 10 CS down, but for Angel, the wave is pretty massive here.
Yeah, I guess he was just trying to look for, you know, if SofM was going to find a gank opportunity there. Just trying to hover for a clean base. Angel definitely didn't want to gank knowing that he was at that state, so smart from Weiwei to just be able to hover for him.
Because they have no idea where SofM is right now. There hasn't been too much deep vision. Angel, you noticed before, dropped the ward towards Raptors, but that was the limit. At the moment, LNG are keeping good track of the Jarvan. They've got vision that's just expired towards the top side, and now SofM down bottom. Where's he going next?
It's a really good control ward from SofM to place down because at this stage of the game, it's actually pretty easy for J4 to solo out this dragon. And with how well Angel's been playing out this lane, then, you know, you can just have J4 and bot side try and solo out the dragon and just ask for Smlz and SwordArt to be positioning aggressively, having a shove in the matchup. So we'll have to see if that ever comes to fruition, but at this stage of the game, Weiwei's up top side.
Still positioning there, still waiting actually with Raptors in hand. Gromp there too. No real big discrepancy in there. Just waiting. Good control ward, by the way, put out by Maple on that tri-bush towards the top side, and that was the spot out where Weiwei was pathing, and he's walking through a bit of vision. And now towards the bottom side scuttle, and still hasn't been spotted.
One nice small thing about the bottom lane matchup, I know we haven't had eyes on it throughout the game, but you can kind of envision how the Corki versus Kai'Sa matchup could work out. She's actually a rather mid-range AD carry, so the phosphorus bomb should certainly land.
Yep.
But Duan has now found himself mid lane, so just trying to look to see if they can catch out SwordArt. They can in a bit, actually. All right.
He clears wards pretty quick, but that means he has to use his Q, the Shield of Daybreak. But Angel, the flash is there, trying for Raw. The Thunder comes in, and wow, flash burn at the end of SwordArt now going to be caught out after the first blood from LNG. The ultimate use locks him down and Weiwei from getting in for the reinforcement. But after a couple of flash burns, SwordArt will get out.
Great amount of patience from LNG there. They knew they needed some consistent damage. It just wasn't going to be both Duan and SofM. Waited for FunFun to be ready from mid. Got the all in, and even the flash.
Yeah.
Like, that was a nice touch. Angel thought he was going to be able to get out of there. Wasn't going to be the case, so as you take a look, you know, let's see. Didn't have an opportunity to flash. That's just frustrating. The moment he got flipped, CC locked down there from the rest of the squad. Well done for the team. J4 actually got locked down trying to come in and help SwordArt. Thankfully, SwordArt didn't need that help.
I know in Chance Select you're alluding to the amount of CC on this team, and we just got a quick example of it here from 3 members of LNG. And that first blood, it's a great setup because now the Kiana in lane has that first kill.
And it's really funny because both of these comps play to each other's strengths very well. Suning is the type of team that just really wants to get that early game lead and try and slow grind a game out. Last split, they were, you know, the slowest team in the LPL, not for a bad reason. It was just because that's the way they wanted to play the game, as risk-averse as possible. Then you look towards LNG, they just try and want to muck you up. Really, what it come down to. Like, SofM wants to find those crucial engages. Duan wants to be into the back line. So the fact that they're willing to give away bad matchups, that's what they have done in the past, to be able to find those advantages in skirmishes. Good call out to get way off the dragon. I think it plays well to LNG's strengths.
I mean, SofM in the right place at the right time this game, and there was a lot of conversation about this jungler. I know there's some bad thoughts that are going around at the moment.
For SofM?
Yeah, for SofM in particular.
Because, you know, for SofM, he's just inconsistent. You definitely know what he looks like in his highs, but he's the type of person that always look for those plays.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, never really consistently has that support. He would look for a play and look to challenge a ward. When he didn't have members there, or certainly wasn't communicating it, you can just see it on the map. And so you want to be able to see the best of days for him. This is certainly not going to be a best day for Maple.
No, this is 2 versus 1. Great flash away, flashes against the wall, but the ignite comes through, and Fen picks up. No, Flande this time as the sun comes down onto Duan for Suning. That's going to be a return kill, but SofM in the right place in the right time. Once again, the explosive cast sent out and SwordArt will die, as Suning were too busy doing the dragon.
A lot happened at the same time. But LNG being able to pick up those kills on the bot side of the map is so damn crucial. So well done from LNG. 1 kill up top lane, being able to get the kill on Karma. Thankfully, the gold was actually sent towards Flande, so now he's ready to go in that lane. Another one, I guess actually, let's see, who actually picked that one up? I want to see that one on the back half of it, but this is how the top lane gank was set up.
Flande popping the old one. It was a decent flash here from Maple, but the damage from Kiana is just pretty nutty.
Yeah, at least he was able to get the sum off the Aatrox on that one. But just to be able to see this one, so SwordArt actually ended up picking up that kill, but now we get to see how LNG was able to respond. Who got the kill? Thankfully, it was Asura. So all the right members on LNG were able to pick up the kill gold.
That's right, the comparison onto SwordArt here, who picked it up for Suning. 500 gold behind. Suning have been pushing out, but now they caught out the mid lane. Double body slam from SofM as Smlz dies in the bottom lane to a solo kill. And LNG, this is a beautiful early game.
This gonna happen like that, huh? Right when you're focusing on the team play through mid, Smlz dies bot side using flash as well. So he used flash, likely he was opened up on because that's an ultimate from Asura. So he was probably tagged by W, opened up with ultimate, and was still able to get the kill as a result. Asura didn't even need to use his flash his own. So we'll take a look at that at the replay. But somehow Smlz dying in a solo kill situation.
Oh, now we're going to find another engage. SwordArt here with a solar flare. Good lockdown here from Weiwei. The Cataclysm as well pairs in, but Maples by himself gets stuck by Flande. Duan will die, but it's worth it at the moment. Smlz with package in hand as Rift Herald resets.
FunFun somehow survived that entire skirmish. Here comes Asura.
Asura once again has 2 kills, picked up the Mana Unit in his first back as the explosive cast almost kills him. The supreme display of talent shows nothing but class for LNG as they trade once again. Now Flande chasing up with the Gragas as Angel wants to join, but his 80 carry's already dead. He has to book it.
All right, LNG is starting to snowball. Who did we say was having a heroic split? It was Asura. Doing so well in a bot side situation. Oh, we got to watch out now.
Who's going to block this one away?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was, I guess, good timing.
But Asura doing so much good work here. So let's see. Let's count them. No turret shot, I would believe. No, that's 1 turret shot.
Nope.
And then it blacks out, so I actually can't see it.
Okay, now we're back.
Okay, our TV decided that we wanted to just completely stop us from seeing the play. Yeah, they were like, you want to see the replay? Well, guess what? Only the audience can see it.
Wow.
We'll hide Smlz from the shame.
Smlz used his heal in the play before as well, so that's why he didn't have the summoner available.
Just so you guys know, there's certainly a storm happening outside these very buildings in Shanghai, so we're under attack.
We've moved from typhoon to smaller storm. So, bit of variety here in Shanghai.
Well, it's called typhoon season for a reason.
Yeah.
So you're not going to just run from the first storm and think you're out of the clear.
And the worst part is it's so damn hot to go with it. So that's the worst kind of weather is.
Everything is hot for you, but that's another conversation for
That's
another
a very
day.
different conversation. LNG feeling pretty hot this game though. 2K gold lead, 13 minutes in the game, and fixing up some of the surefire weaknesses that we saw. SofM in particular has had a much better early game than we've seen in the past 5 series.
Yeah, I'm incredibly happy that we're not seeing what are very preventable errors from LNG not happening again. So that's what we were looking forward to. With LNG, it really does come down to what team do they look like on the day. And we're seeing a damn good team looking to set up for another play now.
It's playing
Oh,
very
they're
proactive.
suspicious.
Sooning. Yeah, they're not doing Rift Herald. Where are they? Pings are going down on that brush.
Oh, but they're coming for them now.
Now they're going to see them, though. 3 members with Fen joining the crew. Smlz's up here, too. Predator's going to be used. Duan flashes in. Roars at them, and that's LNG with another kill. Make it 2. They are so quick to the punch.
This is a damn good-looking LNG right now. And if you are in Sion, oh, you better have some good shots of Team WE. They're sweating bullets.
You would be. Great performance, 14 minutes in the game. Now they can turn their sights to Rift Herald.
Remember, playoff opportunity right now comes down to 2 teams, Team WE and LNG. If LNG wins this series, they're in. Team WE is out.
Yeah.
And the same goes vice versa. So the fact that LNG suddenly is having a heroic performance when their back is against the wall, oh, you're a monkey essing right now if you're a Team WE fan.
Rift Herald was picked up after that as well, and not much on the turret plating scale this game, but 2 core members really hitting their stride. Asura gets solo gold for the first turret in the game. That was in the top side. And Flande's whacking away at the bottom side turret as well.
All right. Suning have to do something. The fact is, their composition is pretty garbage at being able to get back into the game. Yeah. Now, Leona is a good picking, a target that can pick someone like Asura, perhaps Fun if he ends up finding himself a little bit too overextended. But then the follow-up is the question, how is Jace going to get into the thick of things but have an exit strategy if LNG collapse? In a lot of collapsing situations, Suning simply will die. So good luck at this stage. And they also just need to buy for a lot of time. If they can get to a late game with a karma'd up, souped up Corki, then great. But Corki's pretty, as you can tell through the gold advantage that Asura certainly has over him.
Oh, yeah.
2,000 gold, 2,500, I'm sorry, over the Corki. I don't think we'll get to that stage for him.
That 1,500 gold is pretty big. The Trinity Force is there, but Guinsu's now picked up for Asura. And just while we were chatting that play, great from Fen. Pulls back, knows there's no vision in the river, waits for the rest of LNG to rotate before pushing out the wave. So LNG playing very slowly, very carefully, and very smart.
All right. I see what you did there. Calling out my awful maths. I'm just going to draw that right back.
Hey, you didn't have to pull it up.
It's okay. I take that J. I take that J.
Oh, Fen using his old solar flare. Raz, give me a moment, then we'll chat about math. Fen going to get locked down with the Cataclysm and running away as the volley bear comes in with a great majestic roar. May have saved Fen, but the Ignite ticks on over as LNG come in and trade. Flande came in with a TP, and this is rough because Weiwei is looking for his escape, but Flande unable to lock down 1Q. He'll get the Infernal Chase and the reset. Suning are distraught.
That's just the situation you're put in. You have to be taking risks, and you're just challenging LNG to make their proper plays. If you're in the right places to collapse, LNG will always come out with a lead. And guess what? Rift Herald play through mid.
I said they were slowing down. I'll take it back. It's quite the opposite. LNG charge mid, get a bit more turret gold, and 6,000 now the lead as Maple has to help out because the Rift Herald's going to get more damage here. All
right, man. We're getting to a stage, I'd say about 4 more minutes before, Asura is going to be able to lock in that Muramana. And you have a 2-item souped up Asura, 4 kills in. And then you look to the top side of the map with all the recent kills being able to get picked up by the Aatrox. It all starts here. So yeah, they need to be making these plays. It's just unfortunate that you have a Kiana who's just so damn flexible and mobile.
It takes so long to die as well.
Exactly. Enough time for LNG to just simply collapse. In comes the Aatrox too. It's going to be able to lock in this kill. This stage of the game, you have to be taking risks. They understand that. And it's just unfortunate that LNG is just having that kind of a day.
5-0-1 after that kill on Flande as well. 2-0-9 on the Gragas. And to sing the praises here of LNG was not what I thought I had planned coming into today. I was expecting the criticism. I was expecting to be talking about SofM's failings here in Game 1. That is nothing of the sort.
Yeah, while we were talking about how mad WE fans must be at this very moment, like, at this stage, you must be pretty damn happy if you're LNG. You're not surprised because you've seen 2 sides of these faces for LNG. But finally, the fact that it's coming out when it counts, when it matters, you're damn happy. Of course, you'll never be, confident or comfortable about their future. But at least right now, being able to take this series, nailing your playoff spot, that's all you're asking for.
At least for the very game one, we'll get the confidence here.
It's funny too, because a lot of the times throughout LNG's history, remember they're formerly known as Snake, you look through their playoff runs and there's so many situations where you're like, wow, they're just one decision away from being able to get further in playoffs.
Yep.
That it really does come down to how well you're playing on the day, because they can take down some of the best teams in the league. That's for certain. It's just more often, do they lose that sense of discipline? I think this is one of those moments. Let's see.
Well,
all right.
yeah, they're going to poke them out. Suning is still waiting, though. It's not around the dragon. It's simply around a push.
But this is great. They're playing safe when they don't have vision. Around Fog of War.
Oh, and SwordArt goes in onto Fen, who gets ignited once again, but this time, no, he doesn't survive Cataclysm on the escape as Flande flashes over the wall. He's got World Ender in full flight, and Suning are going to get cornered here. You know Aatrox loves the jungle as Smlz running for his life. A flush from Asura. They're hitting their heights again. LNG chasing Suning out, and it's another fight win for them.
LNG got the fight they wanted. It had to be Suning that stuck their head out, and the guillotine came down on them. Good kill on Fen and Duan, I suppose, but the fact that Aatrox was getting those resets, man, it's tough for Suning this one. You have to say it's lights out.
Oh, it's become a Flande game. Yes, it was Asura who cleaned up one of those kills as well, but Flande is looking great, and now he has a Cloud Dragon, so he flies faster.
Remember, this is important for Suning as well. Losing this series in a 2-0 fashion is bad. They actually just get bumped down to an 8th place spot. So they do have an incentive to win this series. So gonna have to see how they fare in this one. You don't want to see Suning essentially like choking when it counts.
That's right. Then you lose all faces and moving into playoffs. We're gonna have a quick look at this fight again that went for a while.
Because they have a lot of poke here. So SwordArt was confident that they can get all in done. Of course, Cataclysm being used for the damage alone. The moment you stick your head out just to be able to get the kill and you're not confident on the poke of Jace and Karma being enough, then you're certainly trading people. You're going to be losing. Now, this is as bad as a trade as you can get.
Yeah. Because we're now 21 minutes into the game. We come back to reality, and that 6K gold lead is still so prevalent here for LNG. Now, we've got another Cloud Dragon coming up later, but at this point, for the leaning, they're heading towards the top side. It's towards Baron that their attention now is.
All right, the Summoner's Rift. Oh, wait, SwordArt wants to go.
He really just wants to keep on going, even though they lose fight. Suning don't want to stop as Fen blocks the ult down and finds Smlz on the backside. The Ignite goes in, and LNG still find the fight as they collapse on into the inside track. Wei dies in the end, and that was beautiful from the mid lane.
All right, this is another episode, apparently, of Fast and Furious. You're losing, you're either like winning quickly or losing quickly. Just trying to find those fights, and it simply wasn't the case. That's a Baron being picked up by LNG now.
Remember when I quoted the gold lead just moments ago? It was 6,000. It's now moved to 10 as Fen's going to get this turret and really just to find that.
That was a really funny engage, let me just say right there.
Yeah.
Very hopeful. I want to double check on the vision if we go for a replay on that one, because what did they see? For them to think that they can get at least a very quick pick is my question.
Because SwordArt really likes going in this game, like, all the time.
Well, no, because this is, especially if you're a Leona in a losing comp, right? If you are literally losing out this game and bleeding out, you want to find those picks, and
that's true.
You don't even have to have the members around you to make the all-in and successful. As I mentioned, they have a pretty heavy poke comp that can blow up an assassin if they go in for it, but unfortunately, as you saw, the really early play when they were in the blue side jungle, they couldn't get an all-in 100-0 on FunFun. So even FunFun can survive the bulk of their damage. Oh, they're trying to go in on Flande. Okay, Flande, let's see what he knows it's happening too.
He's waiting. He's just letting the Baron sit there. He's pressing the B button. SwordArt has the ult. The solo play needs to hit, but he's out. And that's it. Suning commit 3 to the top side. Now LNG like, yep, 3 bottom side. We're going to push mid as well.
Yes, teleport too. So moving towards this bottom lane tower or an inhibitor, they can just have Aatrox a part of the fight right at the very beginning.
And you look at where the ward setup is as well. There's one in the base found out by Angel, so that's important. Means that this teleport's going to be coming directly, if at all, because Flande's moved to the mid lane. He's going to get that wave shoving up as well.
All right, now they can start cutting through blue side jungle from both mid and bottom lane. it's going to be really difficult for Suning to be able to deal with that. Now remember, once the ultimate is ready for FunFun, once he's in the position to be able to send that out, that's another pick off of Angel on Maple. It's just so easy for them to get that burst down. So LNG has been playing really well around Fog of War this game.
Package available for Smlz needs the miracle play here with Infinity Edge. As he's walking in, not blind. The package is going to be used defensively here as LNG finally start collapsing around that top side where Yoma's going to be popped. SofM's in with explosive cask at the ready. Flash away from SwordArt, and that's just the way this game's going. Duan can flash on in, find the Leona again. The Zenith blade to lock him down. At least they'll find Duan, but Way jumping in with the Cataclysm. Flande's at full health, and the capacity here for LNG means they can keep going.
They just want to end it now. The fact that SofM is holding on to his ultimate for so long, he's just trying to find that game-ending pick.
All it requires is Smlz or Maple at this point, it feels, as they're all going to go back to the Nexus, and the top inhibitor exposed and taken.
All right, they're playing really safe here. Oh my god, all right.
Fen's low. Oh, flash for flash. Okay, you take that.
Yeah, we take those. Especially since LNG is finding a good back timing here. They're going to get right back on the map.
Yep.
SofM still has his ultimate. If we're just talking about ability to pick off champions, Maple losing flash for that one is actually going to be more damaging here. I mean, you have to go for it. I agree with the idea to go for that, get the pick on towards FunFun, but now he's in a pretty bad spot. Would
have been nice getting that gold as well, because he's 4,000 behind his counterpart in Flande. We've got the same kind of situation in the mid lane, only less amount of gold, but Asura has destroyed this game. That's 4,000 over the Corki 80 carry.
I'm still pretty salty that we didn't get to see that 1v1 on the replay.
That's true.
Because that's certainly a big reason, too, of why he's going to be coming out of this one as an MVP. So, if I'm giving MVPs, it's certainly going to be between SofM and Asura.
Yep.
Both of those people came out with standout performances this game.
And a great start to game one. They only need to put the nail in the coffin against Suning with a 14k, just about 13, excuse me, gold lead. LNG towards the bottom side once again. There is an open inhibitor top, meaning those minions will channel in and Suning have to respond. So LNG can play with their food a little bit here as they approach the other two inhibitors.
All right, let's see. Getting split up, and Flandre is putting in a lot of pressure now.
Good tag there. SofM just flash in with the cast. He goes golden as Flandre is over the wall. The World Ender not available, and he'll just run back out as the inhibitor turret. What's the focus here from LNG?
So close to being able to get the kill on Smlz, but he heals at the perfect time there. So at least they're able to get that tower in the mid lane, not the inhibitor, but there's a lot of pressure pooling in here from LNG.
Very cautious though, so LNG are going to back away, reset once again it seems. 1 minute 10 till the next Baron, and that'll be the go.
All right, so this is a fun game. You know, you take a step back and you just don't expect the hell what you're seeing, right?
Mm-hmm.
LNG, it's funny. I mean, everyone gets burned by this organization when they get to
believing in them.
The second half of a split.
Yep.
Because they find themselves looking really strong around their top side of the map. Now they even look better than they ever have because, you know, being able to secure strong mids. Okay, well, let's, before I get to my point.
Oh no, Suning shouldn't be here. Duan jumps on in, but LNG seem like they've abandoned him until Asura jumps in as well. Flandre goes in the World Ender in the back half, and Asura's picked up the support. Great explosive cast onto Smlz, tries to turn it, but LNG survive, and Asura starts whacking away again. This is too easy, and a fight that goes as expected.
Asura with the blue suede shoes, just ducking away from anybody that even tries to touch him, and you better believe that you're going into now game 2, LNG having that one game to the nut.
That's right, the health bars won't matter here for LNG as Flandre is going to tank it up. He's walking forward into the turret. Way trying to defend the Nexus one last time, but this game is in the dumpster for Suning. A game where LNG took control where it mattered, where they're one step away from securing playoffs for summer.
And now the plot thickens. Now WE isn't the only team that have hopes riding on this series. Suning have to play better. They don't want to find themselves in 8th place.
That's right.
Because the bracket simply gets harder for them now. So I want to be able to see what Suning can do to scrap up what we saw from game 1. So I think their draft is great, as I mentioned. I think their top side was strong. They were able to get out of the bot side in the early game pretty easily. But then there were certain moments when they were trying to get vision through mid lane,
Right.
where SofM, Duan, and FunFun were grouped up and were able to get crucial picks on actually Angel and SwordArt. So those two players were trying to get vision around mid lane, and they just get caught in doing so.
Assuming that, I mean, you look at that gold graph, that is a clean game from LNG. And again, I reiterate, not what I thought I would say coming into this series, where it was Suning favored.
Everyone counted LNG out.
Everyone
for this
said it's all Suning all the way. Not the case here in game one.
Yeah. So now we got ourselves this interesting series.
Yeah.
No one's going to be getting a clean 2-0 for Suning here, or even going to be coming out. I feel like even if Suning come out strong in game 2, we're certainly getting to a game 3 situation. In my mind, LNG look way too clean of a team to, let's just say, not have a way of dealing with that laning phase strength that Suning have. Suning play really well around being able to get advantages in both their solo lanes, and now they're going up against a team that will just challenge you in doing so. It's a really tried and true counter of just trying to get as much CC, roll them up around mid lane, deal with them. Now, if they lose, let's say that situation that I mentioned early on about like Suning trying to clear out vision through mid, if they don't get picked there, they actually come out clean. Then LNG's in a really tough spot, because then they can get choked on the bot side of the map, lose dragons, lose successive skirmishes because they won't have the members there.
Right.
So it was actually a very, or it could have quickly actually turned in favor of Suning, but to get picked out in one situation starts to snowball, then team fights are easily won by LNG.
Because Asura is just on a rampage, and from there, the early game was set up by one member and one member in particular. SofM had an improved performance. The SofM that we saw in the start of summer feels like he came back a little bit here towards the
Definitely. Came back a lot. Like, this is the SofM that we saw at the first 3 weeks, for certain. You know, a lot more execution was strong as well. I felt like that he was definitely a lot more tempered with his plays.
I'd
he was
say
patient.
Calm really puts the label
Patience
on it.
for sure. He was waiting for mid lane push before he went for a play, because a few weeks before, he would just try and make the play happen.
With no priority.
Well, yeah, exactly. When he could have just waited a few more seconds. But certainly we're seeing a much better approach coming in from the team, and it makes game 2 a lot more interesting.
For LNG, one step away though from securing playoffs and knocking WE out. It comes after this short break to see if they can make the plunge.